Hello, everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about our experiences lifting off into space. This is Srushit Repakula.
Hi everyone, I am Ganesh here, and many of you may or may not know about JetBrains space tool. Um, and this session is about space and how we have benefited from using space within our organization for the last 6+ months. So before we jump into the topic of how we have used space in our organization, let me give a very brief background about our organization. That's a context in which we have used this tool. So CodeOps, we are a Bangalore-based startup from 2016, and we became authorized reseller from end of December in 19, and a service partner from early this year. So we are primarily a software development and a consulting firm, and we also do corporate trainings, mostly to large-sized clients. We're currently around 25 employees, mostly developers, with the resources shared with our platform team for Confirm. Like elsewhere, with COVID impact, our team is now virtual and spread throughout India, and this is our recent team meeting, and many of the team members could join.
So, what is JetBrains Space? It is an integrated team environment for project management tools as well as software development tools. So, from a project management perspective, we have got a lot of features available from Space, all the way ranging from issue boards, sprint planning, tracking of issues, team management, documents, checklists, and many more. And from a software development perspective, we have features ranging all the way from Git hosting, where we can have our repositories and projects, and have all the way to the deployments using the Space CI/CD, which also has the code reviews, merge requests, and also seamlessly integrates into the JetBrains IDEs using the IDE plugin. So this is what JetBrains Space tool or application is all about. It has a bunch of features, quite a few of them, with software development, which helps us in, as I mentioned, all the way from Git hosting to host our code repositories and deployments and code reviews, and also has the team management where we can manage multiple teams. And the best part about Space is it's not just limited to software development teams, but rather all kinds of teams, wherein, like for example, the project management or any kind of team for that matter. And it has many features like chats and documents, which we will be talking about in the upcoming slides. And it is an all-in-one solution where we don't have to leverage different kinds of tools, but rather everything is integrated into one single application called Space. Uh, and it also helps in minimizing the distraction because we really don't have to switch over different platforms for increasing the productivity, but rather have everything in one place, and making sure that there's a minimal distraction, and also helps in maintaining work-life balance in terms of having working hours where the notifications are automatically turned off and things like that. And so another best thing about Space is it is available everywhere. We have the mobile version, the desktop version, as well as the cloud, wherein we can utilize the web version of Space on any browser, and therefore we can have Space on the go. We can check out important updates as and when required. And we also have, as I mentioned, the cloud and on-premises, which is something in the roadmap and expected to be available pretty soon. And so, if you're interested, you can sign up for Space for absolutely free of cost, and you can start leveraging the various features of Space.
All right. So, how we started using Space? So, we started using Space immediately after its beta announcement. towards the beginning of 2020. And at this time, we didn't know that, but we were suffering from a disease called too many toolities, which is for most of the software development teams. So we were using different tools for different purposes. We were using in some projects Asana for sprint planning, GitHub for repos, GitLab for repos, code review, CI/CD pipelines. We were using Slack for team discussion. In another project, we were using UTrack for issue tracking and for issue boards. So even you can consider other tools like Medium for blogs and Google Docs and Calendar. We were even using WhatsApp for ad hoc communication. For example, if one of us go off and take unplanned leave, then as a team we would used to update in WhatsApp that today I'm not available. So we were using numerous others, and still we are using a few of them. But now we are able to use a single tool instead of switching between and managing multiple tools.
So how did we start using Space? So chat was the easiest feature for us to migrate from Slack into Space, and we extensively leveraged it for our communication. And once we started using Space, we understood that we were suffering from something called as too many notifications, and Space actually solved that problem. So how did it solve? With Space, we have the capability to group different kinds of notifications based on the notification type, and also helps us in customizing the home screen, so that I am focusing on only those important things which I really am worried about, making sure that I'm not distracted with so many things happening across my workspace. We have been using the chat feature extensively since the beginning, and we have recently crossed 20K messages in just a few months. And most of the members of our team are developers, and for developers, the go-to theme is always the dark theme. And with JetBrains Space team launching the dark theme just recently, we've been using it immediately, and we are loving it.
And Space is also evolving at a very fast pace. We remember how initial version of Space had very minimal features. It did not have issues. It did not have CI/CD pipeline or support or issue boards, etc. But even repositories, right? And all of these are available in Space now, and it is evolving faster with minimal features coming out. So currently in our team, we primarily use Space as a desktop application. Some of our team members use Windows, and some Mac, maybe 50% share, I would say. Even on the move, we access Space as a mobile app. It's very convenient. Like for example, if I'm going for a client meeting and I'm on the move, then I can quickly open my Space app in my mobile phone and check, especially for latest updates or notifications, and look at the chats. So it's primarily most of us use it on the Android platform, and some of us use it in iPhones as well. So only in rare scenarios we have access from web or cloud, and my bet is that some of our team members don't even know that it's possible to access Space from web. So having to choose from these different options makes Space very convenient to use for us.
As an individual, one of the few things that I always look forward is the holidays. And with Space holidays feature, it became very easy for me to plan my vacations, because all the list of holidays that from an organization that we have is listed in one single place, and I can always look forward to my next vacation and plan it accordingly by having a look at the list of locations. Earlier, before Space, we were using Google Sheets and Google Calendar for maintaining this list and communicating it with the team members. But with this centralized location, and with everything happening in Space, it's been very convenient for all of us to look out for holidays in Space itself. And not only this, but especially for new joinees who come on board into the team, it's very easy for them to find this out instead of asking someone or seeking out help to understand where they can find this information, because holidays are something that we always look forward to, right?
We initially used the internal blogs feature in Space. For example, for our conference cloud community days, we had to create a social media post. So first we created it as an internal blog post, and there is a feature called collaborative editing. Just like Google Docs, you can edit the document and share it with the teams. And we can collaboratively edit that, and we found this to be a useful feature, because one thing is our team itself got to know about the cloud community days, and then later, the edited document, we were able to share it as a blog post in social media much more easily.
So, with all of us working remote in the times of COVID situation, one of the most important things is collaboration and sharing of knowledge across teams. And with space collaboration, it became easier for us to share different kinds of resources and documents across our teams, and for individual developers as well, it was easier for them to access. So before space, we were leveraging Google Docs and Google Sheets sometimes to share information about our, let's say, for example, API documentation or resource details or architecture diagrams and stuff like that. But with space, it became very much easier for us to create document and share it across different individuals or teams. And with Google Docs, one of the difficulties was we had to share that particular document to individual people, specific developers, and it was sometimes painful because sometimes the number of people in a team is large, and doing it for every single person was a little tedious. But with space, it gives us the flexibility to automatically share it with a corresponding team, and it's not just about sharing it with them. So anybody who's onboarding to that particular team, who's a part of the team later on, also gets automatically access to all these documents. And from a team management perspective, we don't really have to provide them access to all of these documents individually as a part of their onboarding process. So this makes the accessibility of documents very easy and convenient, making sure that not any extra efforts is required from a management perspective.
All of our team is currently into space now. So first, we moved our existing members from different places, like Slack and other places. We moved them to space. So as new joinees started coming in, it was very easy to get them on board into space. What we have to do is click the bottom left plus button and add a member, and give first name, last name, and the email ID, and the invite will be sent to the person, and that person onboards, and he has immediate access to the project, because if a person is added to the particular project, then he has access to the repos, blogs, documents, and whatnot. So this streamlined our access for the information that we have in our teams, with the use of the Teams feature in space.
One of the interesting and very useful features of space that I personally feel is the absence feature. So as a startup, we do not have a sophisticated software mechanism, or we don't use any third-party tools to maintain our absences, where individuals can raise an absence and it's all maintained and stuff like that. We don't use any of them. And before space, we were actually leveraging WhatsApp, where people would communicate saying that I'm off today, or I'm off for this particular period of time, and things like that. But with absences on space, I can easily post an absence, and the best part is every person who's a part of the same team will get a notification as a part of this absence feed, making sure that not just the management people are aware of that I'm off for a specific amount of time, but also my team members and my colleagues are aware that I'm off. Therefore, helping me better plan, not just me better plan, but my team members also better plan in planning any meetings or any reviews and stuff like that. So apart from sending a notification, so the notification to the team members, the app notifications for me as an individual is automatically muted. Therefore, any messages that are sent to me or any channels that I'm a part of are automatically muted. Therefore, making sure that I have a happy and peaceful holiday, and ensuring that there is a proper work-life balance available for every individual. And not just this, it also helps, as I mentioned, in better planning. So if there is any merge request that is raised, and if I am one of the reviewers and the developer is assigning to me, and if I am off for that particular day, Space will automatically mention that, and the person who's raising a request can take a call whether they still want to assign it to me or they want to assign it to someone who's available, to make sure that the process is not paused because of someone's unavailability.
So yeah, in earlier days, when during especially the beta times, we were using the free feature of or the free version of Space, and we were also at that time, just 1 year back, our team was just 10 to 12 people, and with other tools, we used to hit the limits often in the free version, even with 12 people. For example, take UTrack. In one of the projects, we are using UTrack, and when you hit 10 users, you cannot add any more users. Like if there are 12 people in the team, you cannot add two more people. So we have to find, either you have to go to the paid version, or you have to find a way to accommodate another user. So in Space, on the other hand, even in the free tier, you have unlimited users and projects. And here is the benefits of the free tier. And from our experience, we see that there are higher benefits for equivalent tools. Let me give a very specific example. We were using GitLab, and in the free tier of GitLab, there are 400 CI minutes available, whereas in Space, there are 2000 CI minutes available. It's not just about the amount of free minutes. It's also about the productivity part of it. Let me give an example. In some scenarios, we would hit the 400 minutes, or we will utilize those minutes, so our pipelines will fail in GitLab. So we will get notifications, and then the developer will inform one of the person who is responsible for purchasing CI minutes, and that person should be available, and then he purchases and then notifies the team that, okay, now you can again use GitLab, and then you trigger the pipeline again. So this time gap between when a failure happens and you make this successful again after the purchase, that's a lost time in lost time, effort, and energy spent in that, which is unnecessary, right? Whereas in Space, there are 2000 CI minutes, which is 5 times more than in the GitLab. So we find that this is a very quite generous plan, free tier. If you are a small business or a startup, I would say, given the vast number of features that are available in Space, and the generous credits that you have, the memory and searchable messages that you have, I think this is very very good. And also we have seen that when the teams grow up, they often purchase the paid version of Space because they start realizing the benefits of using a unified or integrated team environment.
So as I mentioned, most of our team are comprised of developers, and automation is something that we always strive for. And with the Space, the best part is it's not just a tool for us to communicate or have our Git repositories and CI/CD pipelines and stuff like that, but also as a developer, it gives us a greater flexibility to interact with Space via the HTTP APIs. So to give you an example, we are a serverless company, and most of our workloads is on the AWS cloud. And we have leveraged the Space HTTP chat API to send a notification every time there is an error or there's a bug or there's a problem in our applications that are deployed on AWS, and automatically it automatically triggers a notification into the dev channels, giving the developers immediate uh, notification about an issue, and also giving them the flexibility to discuss about the issue right there itself in the channel. And also with Space, there's a very useful feature, which is just by clicking on the message, we can create an issue automatically for a bug, and that is automatically can be added to a sprint board, helping us in having a streamlined process all the way from observability by identifying an issue and creating an issue and tracking that all the way to make sure that it is fixed and deployed. Apart from that, we also leverage the Space CI/CD, which helps in faster and streamlined deployments, making sure that every feature that we are building is as much as possible, as quickly as possible, is deployed to production environment, and our customers are able to leverage all the features. So with Space CI/CD, we also have something called as quality gates, which ensures that a certain checks happen before a particular MR can be merged and a deployment can happen. For example, a set of people who have the privilege to merge an MR first should be able to review it, and then only if they say go ahead, the MR can be merged, and we can have a bunch of other checks as well, wherein let's say for example we want to make sure that the linting is fine, the test cases have run, and all the test cases have passed, and stuff like that, making sure that any build that is passing and getting deployed into a particular environment is all fine and there is no problems or errors.
So earlier, as we mentioned, we were using other tools like Jira and UTrack, etc. So when we started using Space, we had to migrate from those tools to start using Space. So in case of Jira to Space, we use the APIs that are available that Shushit already mentioned. Space provides access to the platform through the HTTP APIs, and so we imported all the issues that we had from Jira into Space. So for each of these issues, we have the Jira link maintained, so that both the issue boards, the one in Jira as well as the one in Space, we have the access to the original issue, and hence the transition from Jira to using Space is very smooth. So there is no productivity loss, and the transition becomes seamless and easy. And some features of Space are more convenient than Jira, like how Sushit mentioned. We could, when let's say for example, a team member finds a problem and checks with the team in Space chat that is this a bug, and let's say one other team members confirms that yes, this is a bug, and now what he can simply do is he or she can just click on that chat and say create an issue, and it can be even immediately assigned to a person, and so it becomes part of the sprint to get them fixed.
So here is a glimpse of our sprint dashboard, issue board. As you can see, with Space, it gives us enough flexibility to add as many columns that we see here as possible, depending on how, as a team, you're functioning. And it not only gives us a quick overview of how the particular sprint or product or project is progressing from a product management perspective, it also gives the developers enough insights to understand what are the next set of features that is coming up as a part of the to-do list or the backlog items, making sure that while they are building or developing features currently, they also have an insight into what is coming up next in the next upcoming sprints, and making sure in the design and implementation, all those are also sort of accommodated, so that we have an end-to-end better implementation overall. And it also gives us a quick overview of how the team is progressing and how individual developers are working on different tasks. And another useful feature of space issues is for every issue card that is raised here, either manually adding it or like we discussed from the chat itself, we can create an issue. A separate issue discussion channel sort of a thing is created, wherein the person who's creating the card as well as whoever it is assigned to can start the discussion as comments. Instead of having comments, there's a dedicated channel or a discussion forum which helps us in better understanding what the issue is or what the requirement is and further discuss. And all of them are sort of logged as a part of that particular ticket itself, so that in the future, if at all we want to try and understand what led us to take this decision, what were the various discussions, questions, and answers that were posted for that particular issue, can all be tracked down when we go to that particular issue number, and all of them is available.
So we are happy to share that we were able to adopt space for both the past projects and as well as the recent projects. So it is not like a flip where we suddenly move from all the existing tools to the space in one go. It doesn't happen like that in any project, right? Even in a small company like us. So we gradually used space for new projects, and for us, chats was the easiest way to adopt space. And slowly we started using other features in space, and that's how we adopted. So I would confidently say that we are mostly cured of too many utilities now, and what's more, the team is also more effective now. So earlier we had to use different tools. We have to use, for example, Asana for issues and issue boards, and then we have to switch to GitLab and deal with the access to the repositories and CI/CD pipelines there. Then we had to use other tools for the related communication. For example, Slack for discussion about different issues and to make progress in the teams, right? Whereas now all of this we are doing it in a single tool, which is Space, and this makes it more effective. I would say that this context switching is one of the bane of software development. So with too many tools, it's difficult to switch the context and get back to the work. And that's what Space avoids. Like you don't have to do context switching, and from a single place you can get all the things done. And we haven't used features like to-do lists or checklists earlier, and we have started using them now with Space because it's readily available and it's easy to use them as well.
So Space is an amazingly, an insanely amazing tool. So it not only saves a lot of time and effort, like we just mentioned about the context switching, but it saves a lot of money as well, because unnecessarily we are leveraging different tools, and as the team grows, we sort of will not be able to use the free plan, but paid plan in almost all the tools. Instead, we can use just one tool, which is Space, and everything is integrated into it beautifully. And it is easy to adopt as well, especially for new projects, because we can always start from scratch and use the Git repositories, the Git hosting, the chats, the issue boards, and stuff like that. But it is not just for new projects. As you mentioned, we also migrated for a couple of projects from our UTrack and Jira into Space, and there are easily available APIs that can help us in migration, especially with UTrack. There's a readily available script that can easily migrate the issues from UTrack into Space. So it has enhanced our software development efficiency, and also helped us better plan, and therefore enhanced our deployments and how we function as a team. And we have certainly benefited using Space for developing our recent product, And it just took us 5 months, and we are live with almost 8,000 users, 8K users. And with Space, it made it much more easier for us to do it, because all the tools were available that we really require in one place, and helping us sprint faster.
So there are a lot of features lined up in this year. In fact, Dark Theme, as you already mentioned, was just released last week, and it's already out. And there are also plans for on-premises version for large corporates, where where instead of using cloud or in the machines, developer machines, it could be in a data center, and the feature to invite external collaborators into Space. And Space is not just an application; it's a platform as well, where you can write applications on top of Space. For example, Figma. If you're creating UX designs in Figma, then there could be an application on top of Space which will help you access that. And just like Google Drive, there is a plan for Space Drive, where you can access all the documents in a single place. And currently there is meetings and a calendar feature available in Space, and there's also a plan to support video calls. So you don't have to switch between, for example, Google Meet or Zoom and Google Calendar and so on, and all of this is available in a single place. And already Space is quite feature rich, and now with all of these features, and year on year, uh, we see that it will only enhance and become much more rich. So we are all awaiting for all these new exciting features, and I am sure if and when you are start using Space, you will also start utilizing these amazing features.
So with Space, we've just started using it and exploring what are the various capabilities, but it certainly is a very vast tool, and we are still discovering a lot of things while we use it. And it certainly has helped us cure the disease of too many toolities. And instead of leveraging various tools and softwares and applications, everything is integrated into just one, and helping as an individual not to hover between different tools, but just focus on just one, and get the work done from a productivity perspective. And it certainly brings back the excitement to coding instead of fighting with too many tools.
So we invite you to check out JetBrains Space. So this is the homepage for a Space tool. So you can see the information about the benefits of Space. You have the pricing details here, and the details of the extensibility options and so on. So do check out the homepage for Space. Uh, there are a lot of interesting blogs on Space. So this, for example, is the blog on 2021 roadmap for Space, about the recent Dark Theme, multi-repository builds, and so on and so forth. So do check it out. There are very interesting small few-minute videos also that you can go through. And finally, there was a wonderful presentation given by Martin in our meetup group recently on an exploration of Space, where he had taken us end to end through the various features of a Space through a demo. So if you are pressed for time, this 1 hour is more than enough for you to get a overall understanding of how to get started with Space and use it effectively in your projects.
So with that, we conclude this session on what are the various experiences that we had with using Space, and how it solved a lot of our problems, and helped us become more productive in building softwares and products. And I hope you guys give it a try, and share your experience as well, and we'd be more than happy to help you get onboarded into space.
Yeah, I think, Srishit, what I feel is that the space has opened up a new class of tools called as integrated team environments. So if you go back, let's say 40 or 50 years, before in the software development, ecosystem, there were separate or disparate tools for each specific functionality in software development, right? For example, there was debuggers, there were profilers, there were editors, uh, and code beautifiers, static analyzers, whatnot. All of them were available as different tools, and what IDEs did was they bought in a single place, where, for example, if you have IntelliJ IDEA or WebStorm, where you have all the features in a single accessible location, right? So which helps avoid context switching. I don't have to install a new specific tool only for this purpose, and even if I want to access a very specific feature, I can install it as a plugin. So this speeds up development and enhances the productivity. And I think the same thing is being done for software development tools here. So far, we always had very different or disparate tools for different purposes, like for chats, for CI/CD pipelines, for repositories, and issues and issue boards and so on. And Space brings it in a one single umbrella. And there's a lot of excitement in this space, I would say. And I'm sure the software development community will adopt Space in a very big way in the near future. So with that, we are signing off, and thank you so much for participating in this session on our experiences lifting off into space. Bye.